Before I begin with my prepared remarks this morning, I want to reach out to all of you because one of our very own is struggling with something personally. Dr. Regina Smith is on leave right now because her mother has become ill. And while she is still all right, Dr. Smith needs to put her energy with her mother at this point. If any of you know Dr. Smith's mother, she's a very, very active and spry 89-year-old woman who's lived an amazing life. Dr. Smith is home taking care of her now. And unfortunately, a few weeks ago, she also lost her brother. So she's having a very challenging time. So I'm asking for you to just keep her in your thoughts and your prayers. The other thing I have to start with today is about Kenosha. The most important thing about what we're embarking on today is the alliance that we're about to do. What happened earlier this week undergirds the importance of us to unite our minds for our changing times. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome, everyone, this morning to our Fall 2020 Annual Faculty and Staff Convocation and Faculty Symposium. This morning, I had a few first time in almost 6 months. Today is the first time in almost 6 months that I took a shower before 7 a.m. Today is the first time in almost 6 months that I carefully styled my hair. Today is the first time in almost 6 months that I put on full makeup. And I also, for the first time in 6 months, am wearing a dress with nylons and heels. Wow. Zoom really changes our life. Each year when I prepare my remarks to welcome everyone back, I look at my speech from the year before to see what has changed from the prior year. I almost didn't do that this year because so much has changed. But it is very important to reflect and to acknowledge where we have been in this last year. And yes, to look forward to what lies ahead this year. I want to start by saying thank you to all of you out there watching this. You are strong. You are invincible. And I am so grateful for what you have done for these past 6 months. We put a little box together for all of you that many of you picked up on Monday and Wednesday of this week as a little token of our appreciation. So when you want to pick yours up, let us know, and we'll make sure that you are able to do that. You know, we asked you in early March to prepare for some changes, and you did. You did not even ask a lot of questions. We asked you to leave campus and work from home. And you did. We asked you only to see your students and your colleagues on a video screen, and you did. We asked you to stay away from campus, and you did. We asked you to go above and beyond to help our students, and you did. We asked you to give more time, more energy, and more help to get the spring semester completed. And you did. We asked you to continue to stay at home. And you did. Each of you have gone so far beyond where you thought you could in just a little over 5 months. And we continue to ask you to work from home so that only those who must work because their work has to take place on campus are here on campus. And just when you think that is all, we ask for more. We put a call out last week for anyone who could help us this week and next week, because we anticipate that our students will need more time from us as they try to figure out how to navigate this completely remote and online education world. They are so scared, and so are we. We want to make sure that they receive the instruction and the services they need to continue to be successful. We worry about whether they are really getting it because we cannot read the room. We have students who are extremely worried about taking care of problems they have because there is no one to see. They need us now more than they needed us in March. And time and again, you answer the call. I know there are some of you out there who are so afraid to try to teach your class for the entire semester completely online. I know there are some of you out there now who cannot imagine working from home for another 6 months. I know there are some of you out there who have not left your house in 6 months. And others of you who are anxious just to get out of the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not only do I appreciate you, your colleagues appreciate you, and the students appreciate you. And as soon as we can come back, we're going to have the biggest party to celebrate each other. You know, when I think back to the beginning of last year, I remember being so excited. By fall of 2019, I felt completely settled in as your president. I was no longer new. We were planning our 90th anniversary activities. In August, we had such a blast at our picnic at Crystal Springs in Griffith Park, enjoying Pink's hot dogs and Patty's hamburgers. The music Dr. Lancaster played was superb, and the face painting, crafts, and games for the kids kept them so happy and so busy, and so did the games for the adults. We kicked off the 90th anniversary in style with a big community day in October that included the unveiling of our new Nike Rainbow Be True track. The track is the first of its kind in all of the United States and only the second one in the world. The community event was so successful that it was decided that we would make it an annual event for our community. The LACC Foundation arranged, as part of the Nick Beck Speaker Series, for journalist Carl Bernstein to visit LACC in late October on a Sunday afternoon. He was interesting, funny, and so generous with his time for our student journalists. And remember our Grinch holiday celebration? It was so much fun, made even better by our very own professor of music, DJ Irene. She helped us dance the night away with some great tunes. And after Thanksgiving last year, Mayor Garcetti reached out to me to ask if LACC would consider becoming the implementation partner for the Los Angeles Promise Zone. We met at the end of December, and I presented our proposal to the mayor. He liked it and said his office would arrange a meeting with some funders to hire the staff needed to implement the goals and objectives of the Promise Zone. Because of COVID-19, that is still a work in progress. January brought a lot of action for us. Remember me talking about having a partnership with UCLA? We were meeting with UCLA SESME, that's the Clean Energy Smart Manufacturing Innovation Institute group, to discuss their move to the LACC campus. UCLA approved the space to rent in the old Life Sciences building. So after 90 years, UCLA is back on campus. We continued working on the contract with Eon Reality for an augmented virtual reality center. And we were moving along with plans for finishing Da Vinci by summer, updating our landscape master plan, plans for our new cafeteria, plans for the new Cesar Chavez building, and plans for the new theater that had been approved for state funding in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association Communications building. He stayed at the reception until everyone who wanted a picture with him got it. He praised the education and training he received from the caring faculty at LACC. We were planning as one of our 90th anniversary events to bring together the 3 leaders from Los Angeles public higher education institutions who all got their start right here on the grounds of LACC: UCLA, Cal State LA, and LACC. As the spring semester started, I had meetings planned to visit one of the LADWP Business Development Centers as part of my initiative to establish a business development center for the entrepreneurs in our community. I had already met with a group who put maker spaces together into schools. My initiative to establish a career exploratorium had begun as we hired a career counselor to develop plans for our new career exploratorium. And my third initiative to put in place the Los Angeles Health Occupation Center is a fully formed concept now. We started our spring semester in February, amidst the news daily of a spread of a virus that was moving from China to other parts of the world rapidly. There was no treatment, and people were dying everywhere. China's information seemed to have the virus isolated, but Italy was struggling to contain the virus. It was rapidly moving toward America. By the end of February, Dr. Lancaster contacted me and suggested that we launch our Incident Command Center, also known as the ICC. Fortunately, at our management team retreat in September, Dr. Lancaster had assigned all of the deans, managers, and vice presidents to particular roles on the ICC. He had also had everyone take the FEMA training required of the members of the ICC. On March 2nd, 2020, LACC launched its ICC. For the next 2 weeks, meetings were happening all over the campus and the district about the COVID-19. By March 12th, we had our last face-to-face town hall meeting, and we were gone, as Mayor Garcetti declared to all of Los Angeles that we needed to stay safer at home. When we started our 90th year, we could not have imagined how it would end. But we have battled through this pandemic, something we would not have thought possible this time last year. The resilience of our students, the tenacity of our faculty, the commitment of our staff and administrators has never been more evident than in these last 5 months. The ability to get all of your classes online in 2 weeks is inconceivable. The shock for all of us to work remotely. But really, the students, they were so afraid. They did not want to leave. How would they study? Where would they study? With what would they study? The problem seemed insurmountable. But then you all made it happen. Our counselors worked during spring break to make direct contact with students, to check in with them. Our staff manned the special hotlines that we had put in place. Everyone answered the call. But I wonder, did we ever really settle into the end of spring term? Or did we just make it through? You know, our LACC Foundation raised about $300,000 in just a couple of months to provide laptops, food, flu shots, grants, and books to our students in March and April. They also gave out about $500,000 in scholarships. Over 2,000 students benefited from this aid. The foundation continues to work to the benefit of our students and our programs. We are working to return the swap meet across the street so that the funds that the foundation raises goes to students. As we moved toward the end of the spring semester, we were preparing for the first ever virtual graduation. But we did not make it through unscathed. On the morning of April 8th, we were notified that our beloved IT manager, Kabwe Chanda, died from COVID-19. It is still hard to believe. We were so fortunate to have known Kabwe. His wonderful smile, his great laugh. That is all with me every time I think of him. He gave so much to so many, and I missed him, and I still do. We prepared a beautiful book that we sent to his wife Pamela and to his son Noah with all of our condolences and all of our memories of what he meant to us. Let's just take a moment of silence to remember Kabwe and to be thankful he was in our lives. We are planning a jazz concert in his honor as soon as we can all return from this COVID-19. On May 25th, the horrific murder of George Floyd at the hands of law enforcement galvanized communities around our country to rise up and declare that Black lives matter. Our African American and Black friends, colleagues, relatives, and acquaintances stood in solidarity to proclaim that the racism and oppression that has existed in America for centuries must end now. We had a group of dedicated LACC administrators, faculty, staff, and foundation, one of our foundation members, volunteer to develop a series of town halls over the summer with the theme Black Lives Matter. Today we hear from renowned social scientist, author, educator, and communicator to us all, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Our series culminates on Monday, August 31st, with Mr. Benjamin Crump, Esquire, George Floyd's family attorney. I hope you'll join us. Today, Dr. Dyson will lead us in the theme of our day today, Alliance, Uniting Minds for Changing Times. So as we ended this year, our campus was a ghost town, occupied only by our facilities crew and the occasional staff member coming to campus. The sheriff has remained on campus every day, all day. But we had another good year on the books. We balanced our budget again, and we have a $1.4 million ending balance. The district transferred approximately $1 million that was in reserve from the annual assessment back into our account earlier this month. Our debt has been forgiven completely. We had enrollment growth in 2019-20 of a little over 1%, the first time in over 5 years. We made it. We made it. This summer, our enrollment exploded. We had 30% growth. Fall is tracking at 100% of last fall, which is remarkable considering most colleges and universities around the country are reporting double-digit losses in enrollment due to the online format of college classes right now. So what lies ahead for us in this coming year? Earlier in the summer, I told you that we would probably need to meet to discuss budget reductions that we would need to make because of expected budget cuts from the state. The state has delayed making cuts to our budgets and instead are deferring payments to us until later. This still has an impact on our district budget, but we believe we can make it through this year. With our healthy ending balance this year, we know we have enough funding that it will require minimal reductions that may just be a natural occurrence because we are not operating on campus. We will be monitoring our expenses closely and working with our budget committee to ensure we will balance our budget again this year. Even though we do not have to implement a budget reduction right now, as I indicated earlier in the summer, we will be providing everyone with a detailed budget that will exclude a few things like our obligated salaries and our instructional costs in the event that we need to prepare any reductions midway through the year. We will have a special budget town hall at the end of September to review the budget report that we are sending out to each of you. While it seems that we will be financially sound for 2020 and 2021, the 2021-22 year may prove to be a much more difficult year financially for the state and for us. Rest assured, You will be kept informed, and we will work through any and all of these challenges together. We have a lot happening on the bond program. As we speak, furniture is being moved into Da Vinci. The building is beautiful. And when we get back to campus, it will be open and ready to receive our faculty and our students. Last year, we received state approval to build a new theater. It will seat over 700 people, and it will have an orchestra pit. I look very forward to our first musical there. It is going to be spectacular. We are working on updating our landscape master plan, and the landscape bug has been hard at work to ensure that we have a beautiful and vibrant campus that welcomes students and offers a lot of seating around the campus. Dr. Promisacci is making sure that we have our own little arboretum at LACC for our community, complete with a walking tour and all of the information about the plantings around the campus. I understand that existed once before on campus. Well, we are bringing it back. We will be finalizing plans for our cafeteria build-out this fall. Yes, within a couple of years, we will finally have a cafeteria again. It will have several different food stations and a locker system for you to pre-order your food and just pick it up. We will have a new Cesar Chavez administration building in a few years. We have reduced the footprint of the administration area. We will have large, medium, and small-sized conference rooms in the building. It will house the business department, workforce and economic development, the WorkSource Center, non-credit and adult ed, the extension program, IT, a large faculty staff center, complete with faculty staff training area, the mailroom, and extended copy center with both reprographic services and walk-up copiers, a lounge, campus leader offices, and a centralized tutoring center that includes supplemental instruction and the writer's block. You will see renderings of all of these projects at our special Facilities and Budget Town Hall in October. We now have a contract to develop lessons in augmented virtual reality to supplement our teaching. A group of faculty will begin this work in just a couple of weeks. We will have a large 45-person eSports lab in Da Vinci Hall that is part of our media arts program. We hired 2 non-credit faculty members who will develop programs in non-credit to matriculate to credit programs and provide good entry-level jobs for our community. I will be submitting a concept paper to the Irvine Foundation for our Los Angeles Health Occupations Center. And I am talking with the Small Business Administration about getting Opportunity Zone funding for our Business Development Center and Career Exploratorium. City is on the move. And we know we are continuing in the remote environment through our fall semester. Within the next week or so, we'll have a good idea as to what we'll be planning for winter and spring. Until a vaccine or reliable treatment is in place, we will continue in this remote environment. The challenges we have had with making this adjustment are only matched by the ingenuity with which we have responded to this crisis. Remember, however long it is before we can all return to campus, this is temporary. So as we mark the start of our school year today, our work is just beginning. After you hear from our very special keynote speaker, Dr. Dyson, he will launch us into pledging our support for equity and social justice at LACC by signing on to a proclamation that our management team, that's made up of the deans, the managers, and the vice presidents, drafted to take action to root out racism, bias, and microaggressive behavior, and to create a race, equity, and social justice center at LACC. We will continue with our professional development series throughout the year. As we resume our busy fall term routines, our Black Lives Matter town halls will be held once a month as we continue to become a different, more inclusive LACC that we will all be proud to serve. Last year I told you that others around the district seemed to be shocked by what we did. There is no longer shock in the district. It feels more like wonder and admiration for the work we have done in such a short period of time. I am beyond proud of all of our accomplishments, and I am humbled by your commitment. As Doctors Wood and Harris told us a couple of weeks ago, leverage the moments. Believe, achieve, succeed. Have a great year.